Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another Marriage Mondays where we spend Mondays talking about marriage. My name's Amir.
My name is Kamara.
And today we're going to talk about 7 ways that you can improve your relationship.
So it's never too early or too late to improve your relationship. So we are going to give some suggestions on how you can possibly do that.
Mandatory obligations.
Question of the week.
What's one way that you think you could improve your relationship?
And it doesn't have to be an intimate relationship or is that what they're called?
Any relationship.
Yeah, any relationship. It could be any relationship. So,
how can you improve that?
Exactly.
You should periodically try to do this evaluation just to see how you can improve your relationship and get the most out of it. So every 3 to 6 months or a year is a really good time to look at your relationship and see what you can do to improve your relationship with your beautiful wife.
Oh, your amazing, beautiful husband.
Yeah, oh my God, look at her. You see those red lips? Oh my God.
What's the first thing we got, babe?
Improving your spirituality.
Or your religion, and as Muslims say, improving or increasing your ibadah.
It's always important to improve your relationship with God. If you believe in God or you have a religion, improve your ties with your faith. So whether in Islam, whether that be praying, reading Quran, fasting, but more importantly, doing these things with your spouse, right? Incorporating ways that you can both interact with one another and also worship your Lord.
Babe, what's next? Oh, I see what you're doing.
Communication. It's really important that you communicate well in your relationships. If you're not communicating, then it's just
you're not going to know what's going on.
Yeah,
that's just plain and simple.
Yeah, you're going to be flustered because you don't know what your spouse is thinking, what if they like what you're doing, if they don't like what you're doing. So you need to look at how you communicate with your spouse and improve the manners in which you're communicating.
And I think we mentioned this before, but give feedback. I think we talked about this in constructive criticism, but give feedback to your spouse so they know. Because if I make Amir tea, I'm going to ask him, how was the tea? Because I want to know if the tea was good or not.
And if she asks me how was the tea, I should respond. I shouldn't be like, all right, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, babe, the tea's really, really good. I liked how much sugar you put in it. Babe, I don't like sugar in my tea. When you walk in the door, right? I think one of the most important things is communication starts when your spouse comes in the house. And you should greet your spouse, right, with a smile, and ask him or her how their day was going. Give them a hug. Ask them if they need something. You want some water. That'll foster good communication with your spouse.
And as if you notice, Amir didn't say when your husband comes to the door. He said when your spouse. So it's like your wife could come home from work, or your wife could come home from school, or your wife could come home from shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Ask your spouse how they're doing. How was your day? Do you need anything? A home should be a safe haven, a place of comfort and relaxation, not this hostile environment,
Right.
That was a good sentence I did, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, I used it in one of my speeches in class.
All right, babe, what's number 3?
Number 3 is watching your attitude.
Watch that, babe.
Yeah, I don't want to say I have an attitude problem.
You gotta
but
check.
I tend to be doing this. Who you talking to?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
When you're moving your head like this, you shouldn't approach your spouse in a manner in which would make you feel sad or angry or upset.
Threatened.
Like I said, when you come home, try and come home with a smile on your face. Don't always look upset or angry. Sure, if you're having a bad day, right? You're having a bad day, but every day can't be a bad day.
Yeah, every day can't be a bad day. Leave your problems at the door. Don't bring it in the house. Make sure your attitude towards your spouse is a positive attitude that's giving off positive vibes,
Yeah. And do your best to just stay happy. Being upset and being down isn't going to help you out in any way, right? At least if you're happy, you have good energy, you might be able to do something with your time. But if you're upset and you're down in the dumps, you're not really going to do much, and it's not going to feel like someplace that someone wants to come home to. No one wants to go home if they know that their spouse is going to be moping on the couch.
And having this attitude, like this stank attitude.
Right. So just be happy.
Just be
happy. And smile. Smiling actually releases endorphins that make others happy,
Yeah, and also laugh.
Smiles are contagious. Yeah. Try it.
Especially yours. You got a nice smile, mashallah. Fourth thing is respecting mutual rights in a relationship and an Islamic marriage. It's like you have rights that's given to you by God. So your spouse can't be like overstepping the line. So respect that your spouse has rights, and you should respect that you have your rights as well.
When we're talking about the mutual rights, it's like one person isn't responsible for everything. For instance, if you have a relationship where the man is working and the wife is at home, just because you're working and she's not working at home and she's just doing the housework and stuff does not mean that you can't come home and clean up and help with the chores around the house, right? If you think that only working is all you have to do, your thinking is a little flawed. You need to be helping your wife with things. You need to be having like a balance of what you're doing and how you're splitting things in the home.
Like you said, you have to have a balance. So, like, ladies, if you are a stay-at-home wife, don't let things pile up. If you're at home all day, you guys, well, ladies, I mean, let's try not to let our husbands come home to a dirty place. But
if we're both working, right? If we're both working in the home, then you should. I mean, you should definitely share equal ownership over, who does the dishes, who's vacuuming, who's picking up, who's cleaning the bathroom, who's doing all these things, who's taking the kids to practice, who's doing this, who's doing that. You should all share, and by sharing that, you'll be able to improve like your happiness towards one another.
Exactly.
Because when someone's feeling like they're doing most or all of the work, that's how, your communication starts to dissolve. That's how your attitude starts to change.
What's number 5, babe?
Number five? Number 5 is very important. It's one of the
major reasons why a lot of people in the United States get a divorce.
Yeah, it's one of the major reasons why people are cutting other people off.
Cutting ties.
Severing, not the throat, hopefully, but they're severing their ties.
With their spouse over money.
So for number 5, you should look at your finances, right? You don't want to put too much on yourself. If you can't afford certain things and you're really working for those things, or you're spending your money on these things that you can't afford, that's going to hurt your relationship.
Exactly. Like, can you afford that car note on that new car you got? You don't need that 2018.
Right. You might have to settle for a 2011.
You might have to settle for 2011.
That's okay. If you look around, most people are driving cars that just get them from point A to point B anyways.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. If you can afford things, that's great. But if you're in a position where you're not rich, which is probably most of us.
A lot of us young too.
Really take into consideration like what you're valuing, right?
Exactly.
Are you living in a shack somewhere and you could afford a better place, but you're living in a shack so you can, walk around with a nice car or drive a nice car and have really nice clothes? Or would you rather live in a better environment, right? So these are the types of things that you need to look at, right? If you live in a better environment, I guarantee your relationship will feel better. You'll feel more happy when you're coming home.
Yeah, more at peace, Mm-hmm. And if there are things that you cannot afford, do a savings plan. Talk about ways that you guys can cut back on certain things that you don't need, okay? Like clothing, how often do you need to buy clothes? Groceries, do you need that name brand, or do you need that great value? Because that great value was like $4 cheaper. Yeah. 6. Oh, that's 5. 6. 6.
So we're doing numbers now, huh?
We're doing
We're doing numbers?
I didn't like numbers.
So how is it okay that you can do numbers and I can't do numbers?
Okay, because when you did numbers, baby, you were very like robotic.
Number 6, you should look into improving your
intimate
interactions.
Yeah, let's make that a whole sentence. You should look at improving your intimate interactions. Okay, and then when we're talking about intimacy, we're not just talking about your sexual interactions, though we are going to mention that. We're talking about the way you interact with your spouse on a level that connects.
Right.
Like you're connecting.
Like some people have relationships where they just come home and the wife is here and the husband is there, right? They're not really spending time together, right? Especially when everyone's working and you get home and going to school. It can be difficult for you to really take time to be together with one another, right? You're in a relationship, so you should value that relationship and really spend time with one another, right?
Yeah, and like do things that make you want to like be with your spouse.
Yeah, so you could have a day, like a specific day of the week where you and your spouse do something, right? Whether you have kids or not, you still need me time.
And we time. Okay, that's we time because that whole little thing was like.
Yeah, you still need we time, and so do something.
Like, yes, we're talking about emotional connections, but also physical connections. Mm-hmm. If you're not fulfilling your spouse's right for like intimate pleasure, that's something you have to think about. You know, like even if you don't have strong desires, like you're married to somebody who who has needs, and you have needs, but like if you don't have desires, there are like natural remedies that you could take to help you with that. Mm-hmm. So definitely look into that.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to sexual interactions, there are couples that don't have sexual interactions, and these things can also be detrimental to your relationship because we don't like to talk about these things on this channel, but if they don't get it from you, they might get it from someone else, and that's
or you will find them on a porn site. That is common. Yes. And you don't want your spouse to get addicted to pornography.
Yeah, a majority of Americans watch porn or have seen porn. Probably close to 90%.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes that involves taking clothes off. Yeah, our last point.
Suggestion, tip thing. So if you have a family, definitely look at improving your relationship with your children. As a preschool teacher, I see the way parents act when the child favors one parent just because the relationship is more they have a stronger emotional connection. So that tends to put a little bit of stress on the relationship because one parent will feel kind of like neglected from the child and like, oh, well, why don't you love me? And it's like, oh, it's not that I don't love you. You just don't show me the appropriate emotional needs. Children have emotional needs.
If you're in a big family, like, I mean, I'm the oldest of 8, and
I got a lot.
She has a lot of siblings as well. Like, I mean, and she probably can attest to this, but it'll almost be like, it'll be like one side of the family versus the other if there's not good, like someone feels like they're favored by mom, someone's favored by dad, so it's like then there's this clash within your family. So if you're able to improve that relationship, then you'll be able to kind of dissolve and
tension within the house and within the siblings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much concludes this video.
Hold on, wait, babe.
Oh, it's not.
How can what are things that we can do?
Oh, things that we should do. I mean, evaluating our 4th year marriage. Alhamdulillah, we made it 4 years. Mm-hmm. This last year that we were married, I think we were like super busy.
Yeah.
Like we did not take time for each other at all.
Yeah. Just one thing after the other, and we didn't actually. I mean, a'udhu billah, but we didn't really improve in our religion this year.
No, we did not.
And I think that
was something that we
neglected this year. Like we didn't really focus on improving our relationship with God, and it's possible that our relationship with God maybe took a couple steps backwards. So
I would say that
we have to be improving ourselves and improving our relationship with God every year. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully, inshaAllah, may Allah make it easy for us.
I mean,
we're going to try and do that.
Another thing we're going to try to work on is our communication. Sometimes we make plans without informing each other. So it's like...
and it sometimes we butt heads a little bit. She'll be like, oh, I'm going here. And I'm like, what? Like,
I feel like I feel like that's reversed.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'm also like, hey... babe, let's go. And then she's like, what? I'm not ready. I gotta put my face on, gotta do that. And I'm just like, yo, just throw on a hoodie and let's go. But she's not the type to just throw on a hoodie and go. So
Hold up,
I have to.
hold up.
Babe, stop.
Hold up. Actually, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop because you're right. So basically, worship together more, communicate, and then take time for ourselves. You know,
take time to really enjoy our relationship. You know, enjoy each other and our company.
Yeah, while we still have each other.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully, we have each other for a long time. So.